To be able to know yourself is truly the beginning of all wisdom. And I speak from my personal experience where I literally felt like I was just sleepwalking through my entire life. Like I wasn't consciously aware of any of the mistakes that I was making, yet in my head, I was so fucking mad that I wasn't progressing. And I was just staying the exact fucking same until I realized that it's not that practice makes perfect, but rather self reflection makes perfect. Understanding previous patterns that I continue to ignore is actually monumental towards my progression as a man. So in this video, I want to do exactly that for you. And I do want to save most of the value that I hold in this video for the actual presentation portion of it. But I won't lie, like it's nothing motivational, it's nothing quick, it's nothing that's going to be easily able to implement, but rather like something you watch through first, and then you take the time to actually self-reflect. So if that's not for you, like I'm giving you the opportunity right now, please click off the video. This is nothing motivational. And if you have TikTok brain, if you have a short attention span of a goldfish, then please don't watch. It's not going to help you at all. But in this video, I'm giving you a in-depth breakdown of one of the key modules in my mentorship, where I help ambitious men who are actively looking to progress within their lifestyle, their mindset, their physique, and become better men through wiring their subconscious mind and just becoming fucking unstoppable, right? Really just honing in on self-improvement. So this video is going to give you a very in-depth breakdown of exactly how to do so. So I hope you find it valuable, and if you do, stick around to the end because I have an offer for you. All right, guys, welcome to one of the most important modules of the mentorship, which I'm going to really help you understand yourself a lot better. And, within your mindset, within your own character development, it is key that you understand your previous mistakes, who exactly you are instead of being a carbon copy of everyone else. So I hope this module will really help you break that down. And just to preface, like, knowing thyself means that you are good with self-reflection. Like you are conscious, you are self-aware of the actions that you take every single day. So I put this little quote right here: to know thyself is the beginning of wisdom, because I don't necessarily think it means, I don't think practice makes perfect, but rather self-reflection makes perfect. And I'll explain why. Like if you take 1,000 free throw shots in basketball, and yet you don't learn, you don't change, you don't do anything to your shot 1,000 times over, then you're still going to have a shitty jumper. You're still not going to make as many free throws. But rather, let's say you take one shot and you even record that shot on your phone, then you literally look at you shooting the shot from a third person perspective and see, okay, what can I change with my form? Then going into the next shot, you make a ton of adjustments, and then, maybe you miss it a little bit less. You do it over and over again, right? That is self-reflection rather than just doing the same reps over and over again. Because, again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. So I put this framework together of questions to help you retrace your previous moves and analyze possible blind spots and emphasize learning lessons. And again, like just for this mentorship, right? One big thing you get as a bonus is having someone in a position you desire to be in, being hopefully me. Hopefully you desire to be in some things that I contain, whether it's characteristic traits, materialistic objects, certain things about me or my lifestyle, my mindset. Hopefully it's something about me. I'm a little bit further ahead that I can kind of look back at your life and say that I made this mistake before. Don't do this. This is why you shouldn't. But you likely have to go through the same exact trials and tribulations. I can just help speed up the process a little bit. And especially this framework right here is going to help you speed it up a lot too. So my best recommendation for you is take time. Take time. Like it's tedious. It's hard to say okay, I'm just going to assign time, like an hour block for this, because every time I do a self-reflection activity, like there are literally days I take off where I'm literally just journaling all fucking day. Answer these questions in depth. There is no right or wrong. There is no green light, red light towards this is the right answer, this is not the right answer, but more about just spilling out your thoughts into pen and paper. Again, not just thinking about it, not just reading over the questions and saying like, okay, typical day, like I wake up, whatever. But no, like actually taking the time to answer in depth what this does, because I'll reiterate, and I've said this a couple times in the program so far, but your brain struggles to grasp abstract thoughts, meaning if I want a better reality and I just want to say I want to be a cool person, that's vague as fuck. You can't, your brain cannot conceptualize what a cool person looks like, but rather, okay, what does that cool person do? Okay, he wakes up early. He doesn't touch his phone. He eats a good meal, a clean meal in the morning, gets some deep work done, hits a training session, works throughout the next couple of hours, then has a late night dinner with his boys, goes on another training run after that. Like, that is breaking down in depth. That way, every single, like, you go throughout your day, every single waking second of that day, your brain is consciously aware. It's aware of whether or not you are aligning yourself towards that higher version of you, that cool person of you, right? The entire, like, concept of this program is, how can I align my mindset, align my subconscious mind towards that higher version of me? So diving into this, and I want to say this is a framework, meaning you don't have to stay in the parameters of these questions, but let them serve as a guide. So just saying, like, answer this question right here doesn't mean stop at once you feel like you got the answer, but like, just keep going. Just get lost in thought. Like, this is the best time to get lost in thought. And like, specifically in seasons of life, like, this is an evergreen document right here. This is something I want you to be coming back to often. I say every 3 to 6 months, because I mean, if you're constantly taking action, your life is going to look a lot different the next month, 2 months, 3 months, a year from now. And you're going to have to self reflect on the actions you took. So you're not just sleepwalking throughout life, because that's pretty much what we've been doing since we were 18 years old, is just sleepwalking, because we never had self reflection. School never teaches you how to self reflect. So just briefly going over these questions and hopefully giving you a little bit of clarity towards like these exact things. So, what does a typical day actually look like right now versus what you want it to look like? Again, pull back the layers on what that means. From the second you wake up, the little habits you have. Do you pick up your phone? Do you not? What do you do in the morning? What do you eat? Right? What is your framing of mind in the morning? Like, are you just like, a brain dead zombie when you wake up, or are you consciously aware? Are you a little bit anxious, a little bit stressed? Right? Pull back those layers, and then what do you want it to look like? Not just what you want it to look like, but how do you want it to feel as well? Um, what habits are you running on autopilot that don't serve you any purpose towards becoming your higher self? And with this exercise as well, like, it's hard because like you write these things down and it doesn't really feel like you're being productive, but I promise you it does, because this is making you a lot more self-aware, a lot more conscious of these blind spots that you have, right? So like, naming out and being real with yourself, what are autopilot habits that you have? Do you randomly pick up your phone during this time of day? Do you randomly pick up your phone when you feel stressed, anxious, bored, whatever? That way, when it happens again, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the next day, but maybe next week, you have that deep in your subconscious mind saying that, okay, I'm consciously aware of the fact that I pick up my phone when I get bored. Therefore, I have the conscious decision when I do it the next time. Do I want to feed into my current reality right now and stay the exact fucking same? Or do I want to become better? If your life was a movie on Netflix and 10,000 people are watching you for a week, would they continue watching, and what would they say? I really like this one because it makes me feel a little bit more detached from the present moment, and not in the bad way that I kind of mentioned to you guys previously, but more of a way like, okay, like, this is my life. I can, like, I am the main director. I am not a dreamer anymore. I'm consciously aware of this lucid dream that I'm in right now, which is like me talking to this camera, me being in my apartment right now. Like, let me just not give any fucks and just try my absolute hardest to see how far I can push this life. And even if you are in like a bad arc, like, would people, because without the lows in your life, without the bad things happening, it wouldn't make the good things so good, because you have the contrast. So even if you are going through like a stale or a bad period in your life, like, people like, what, you don't watch a movie that just has constant goods, bro. So like, think about it like that as well. What's one thing you consistently say that you never follow through with? Again, just being real with yourself. Like, don't bullshit yourself. Like, this is only gonna help you out, and dive deep on this one. Like, even talking about like, how long have you felt this way? How long have you been pushing it off? What would your life look like if you actually follow through? How would you feel about yourself? Would you be a lot more confident, right? Moving on to your character arc. I'm gonna move my camera a little bit up. But what is something about your current reality that you already achieved that you once thought was impossible? This is a really good question because at some points in our lives, like we think that it's like we have these the biggest dreams and desires in the world, but we don't know how it's going to come into fruition. And like me personally, my personal experience, like I literally witnessed my life transform in front of my eyes just because I was journaling every single day and I was taking action on what my dream life was, and I made my mind conceptualize a better life for me. And every single day, I would just align my habits, my actions with that person, and on a long enough time frame, boom, like I have the things that I actually want. Like it's fucking surreal, and it's crazy it works this way. And metaphysics is, a really cool thing once you get to understand, like it's not just something that I should overthink about and stay in my head about, like manifestation or journaling out things. Like no, it's like just training your mind. Like you are literally just training your mind. So if that's a physique, if that is you being in college right now, like I know that I couldn't even conceptualize like what it meant to be in a dorm room. I just couldn't think that far ahead. So like I didn't really think it was impossible, but I just didn't like conceptualize it as a far off reality. But even things you have right now, what's a good example? Like maybe going to the gym every single day. Like one thing you thought was impossible. Like, did you really think you could stay consistent? So little things like that, just to show you that over time, through enough action, you can get the things that you once deemed were impossible. What's the last 3 to 6 months cost you as an opportunity, as in risk, as in relationships, as in monetarily, as in your environment? And what was the biggest sacrifice that you had to make? Like this should go a little bit deep, hopefully, and really just reflect on what like pull back the layers. If it was like a monetary thing, like even within this program, or maybe it was a relationship that didn't work out that you had that conversation about, just pull back the layers and like, okay, like this, like to upgrade in this life means you have to climb more levels, and some things from that previous level cannot carry on to the next. Like it's just not going to happen. So reflect on that. What mistake have you made more than once, and what does the pattern tell you? I'll put a question mark right here. um like just to give you a little bit more insight on what I mean by this, but I think the greatest test of a man's IQ is whether or not he is able to pull his dreams into reality. Like think about that for a second, because you have to be, and along with that, but like pattern recognition as well, because some people just aren't consciously aware. Some people are just retarded, and they get smacked, like someone can smack them 5 times in a row, and then the person tries to smack them a sixth time, and they just stand there, right? Because they're not consciously aware of pattern recognition. And likely if you are in this program, likely if you are working with me, like I might have talked about something in my content that makes you seem like you are a conscious and self-aware person. So you likely have this characteristic where you do recognize patterns pretty quickly. So it's very, very key to recognize like what is one thing you've made a mistake more than once, and like what does that pattern tell you, good or bad? Who were you 2 years ago, and what would that version of you think about where you're at right now? It's a really good frame of mind, because you should look at your life from a 30,000 foot perspective, because we tend to look at ourselves in the mirror every single day and just micro analyze everything we hate about ourselves. But in reality, when we look at it, like when someone sees us that we haven't seen in a long time, and they're like, holy shit, or like that one family member you barely know, and they like you see them when you're like 4 years old, then you see them like when you're in your late teens, like, oh my God, you got so big. But you're like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know you. Like, I don't remember the last time I saw you. Yeah, I hope you know what I'm talking about. But that's how we should be viewing our own lives, because we see such a drastic difference in the changes that we've made, instead of just self-analyzing and getting so fucking insecure about the little things that worry us, but rather just like seeing how much progress have we really made. Your highest self, what does the best version of you do daily that your current self avoids? We'll kind of rapid fire for this one because it's pretty straightforward. But what would you do? I can't fucking read. What would you do if you knew you literally could not fail? I don't know why that fucking took me so long. But yeah, just like the law of detachment, right? There's infinite opportunity. You failing, you losing, you fucking up is honestly like one of the best things that it can do because it builds character, builds confidence. It hopefully puts you through humiliation as well, and kind of checks your ego. What are you tolerating right now in your life that your higher self wouldn't accept? And again, be real with yourself for this. Like, if there is something deep in your subconscious that you're telling yourself like, okay, let me just push this off, let me keep justifying this, like I know this isn't a good thing in my life right now, that you know I know a better version of me wouldn't have this. Then be real with yourself here. Like, be real with yourself. And if you continue justifying, if you continue pushing this off, then you are literally just procrastinating. You are self-sabotaging your future self. What is one thing that if you fixed, it would make everything else easier? And again, rapid fire on that. And then the deepest layer, again, take your time with these, bro. Uh, what are you actually afraid of underneath all of the surface goals? Are you afraid of, the fear of missing out? Are you afraid of the fear of, again, like fear of missing out is like potential, right? Are you afraid of public embarrassment? Embarrassment. Sorry, I was drinking a Alani. This ship's fire. But just consciously recognize your fears, your why, right? And just go layers deep on this. Like, what would it mean to you if you weren't able to pull this dream version of you, this higher self of you, into reality? Like, what would that feel like if you didn't get there? Because going into the next question, and this is really a good frame of mind, are you running away from it, or you're running towards it? Because if you have, like, I love this analogy, right? There is a kid that is running towards an ice cream truck. Like, if the ice cream truck is already like rolling already, like driving away, the kid's probably not going to run that fast because it's just ice cream. Like, it'll feel good, it'll feel pleasurable, but it's not the end of the world. But that same little kid, you put him in a burning building, there's glass all over the floor, there is a fire right in his way, like he's going to do anything he can to run out of that building. He's going to step on broken glass, he's going to go through some of the flames if it means his safety. Because why? He's running from fear. So understand that humans run from fear far more than they will ever run from pleasure. um what would your life look like? Sorry guys, you know how I am with fucking spelling, bro. I'm a college dropout. But what would your life look like in 5 years if nothing changed? If nothing changes, nothing is going to change, bro. So describe to the T what that person would look like, and be harsh with yourself. Because again, you will run from a fear, you will run from pain far more than you will ever run from pleasure, right? That is why we describe this. We are brutally honest with ourselves. Like the red pill, the truth, it hurts. Like the red pill means nothing more than just the truth, the harsh truth. And that is why like people choose to live under the blue pill, meaning like a false reality. They choose to live in ignorance because what they don't know can't hurt them. But I rather live in the frame of mind that I accept that it's going to hurt, but I don't want to miss out on what could be. I don't want to live just complacent, live just being a bitch. And then finally, what does success mean to you? You're not a carbon copy of everyone else, but what does it mean to you? Not what others say, but generally, why does this matter to you? But again, boys, take the time. This is maybe a date, like literally block out time, put your phone in a different room, hoodie on, turn the lights off, just go fucking monk mode on this one, and just get lost in fucking thought, bro. I've done this experiment, like not this exact one. I've done multiple frameworks multiple times, and every single time, like I get myself lost in thought. And it's not a matter of like the next day everything just changes for me, but like it's like a shifting point in my season of life where I'm like, okay, like I recognize the previous mistakes. I know exactly where I'm going. It gives me a lot more clarity, and I just, I just feel locked the fuck in. So yeah, kill it with this activity, kill it with this module right here, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, that is the end of the video. I hope you took some value from it, and please, please, please take the time to actually go through with the activity, go through the self-reflection, because it's only going to help you out. And the amount of time you trade towards taking the time to self-reflect is, uncomparable. It is there's no value you can put in that time that you spend towards it, towards the return you will get on it in the future. But yeah, this is one of the modules in my program, and it's not just specifically about modules that I provide, but more about a one-on-one personalized experience towards helping you really achieve whatever goals you have, all through just building a better man. I truly believe that once you shift yourself internally, once you shift yourself within your mindset, and then your physique is a lagging indicator of the change that happened internally, then your world will start to reflect on that change you made internally. So I've seen this in my own personal life where I was a college dropout, didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do, and I literally just focused all my time and attention on building a better version of myself, and I saw personal change within myself. I've helped multiple people do this in the past as well. I have some guys who do door-to-door sales. I have some just like general sales reps. I have some guys who manage businesses, and all of them have the same exact thing. Like they worked on their mindset first, they conquered themselves, and it just translated to their business, it translated to their personal life, and the external world reflected on that. So if you want to talk about how we can do this personally for you and your situation, I have a book, a call link in the description of this video. And if you are a good fit for my mentorship, then we can walk forward about how we can implement this into your personal life. But I appreciate y'all watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.